So we're getting into this. We are going... Did you tell me what level this was at? Was this... Well, what level was
Uh,
this at?
I played this game today. I think it was at 2700 around that.
Okay, that's what I thought, but I wasn't sure if I was mixing it up with the Zen I reviewed earlier. So perfect, perfect. Okay. Okay, so where's that where's that Harmony Orb? And if we look at this, we can go back and we can see your Harmony Orb's out on Junkrat. I'm fine with that. You go into the right-click charge. I don't necessarily love this right-click charge because I knew your Harmony Orb was going to fall off. And this is kind of hopeful. Don't end up getting anything, no big surprise. And I do like that you peek out here to get a Discord Orb out immediately. But we still don't have a Harmony Orb out. And that's a pretty long time, right? Like, it doesn't really take us time to apply Harmony Orb, does it?
Yeah.
Okay. And, ooh, then we're still out. Okay, and now we got a Harmony Orb out. But that was, now you have people shouting that they need healing, and that might have been easier if we'd already had this Orb out.
I mean, this Junkrat is alone on the flank, and I can't really Harmony Orb him.
I'm not really talking about him, though. Like, yes, he's calling it, and I don't really care about him. Like, I really don't care about him. But my point was more like, hey, we're in this situation where Anna's at half, and yes, you've moved your Harmony Orb on her, but Orisa and Hog have both taken damage that was potentially pre-healable with Harmony Orb, right?
Yeah, into armor, yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so I get it. You have a little ability to do this as Zen because you are a hero with meaningful pickoff potential with your right clicks here. You can throw 5 orbs and get people. Maybe this one makes sense. But does it make sense to fight this team anymore? At all?
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
I'm just too late to kite them. I want to kite them, I will, but I'm just
You say that, but I saw you pushing forward. Okay. I'm sure you just love this Junkrat.
I mean, he's feeding.
Okay. So here we're doing this. I don't mind the Harmony Orb over there, but like I instantly know that my Roadhog is the most likely person to take damage right now, right?
Yeah.
So, okay, I've got my Fortified Sigma, or Orisa who's pretty far back, or my Hog who's getting aggressive. Well, I want to enable the most aggressive person. And the most aggressive person a couple seconds ago was the Junkrat, who was way too aggressive. But, like, now, this is pretty obvious, clear, whatever, that the person who's most likely to take damage is Roadhog, so let's put the Harmony Orb on them. It's not like you're having to cancel a right-click or anything to do that. This is just free right now. And right now, your Roadhog is at 530 health, but he should probably be closer to 550 health, shouldn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, that's okay. I don't want to I don't want to bring you too down over this. Like, remember, I can find mistakes with 4,700 players. Like, this is
no,
fine.
I completely understand that. Okay. I know that Harmony should enable the most aggressive person. I'm just too slow on applying them.
Okay.
And I mostly try to keep the orbs on squishes.
Yes, we do prefer it on them, all things being equal. That said, your Hog was just more likely to take damage than your Hanzo, and your Junkrat was back in spawn. But yes, we do like the squishies for our orb. It's a much greater percentage of their health. So I'm good with it being on Hanzo here. Nice shot. Okay.
Yeah, I really want to get into Masters.
You really want to get into Masters? Okay. Good. Good. So we hit that shop. We go here. And this is, again, one of those things where it's like, currently your Harmony Orb is on Hanzo. And I don't mind your Harmony Orb being on Hanzo, but you know, that, like, it's almost a metaphysical certainty that your Orisa is about to take a bunch of damage, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
I expected somebody to pick from where my cursor is.
Sure. And I totally get that. But, like, you can even Harmony Orb Orisa for free as she's getting pulled across where your cursor is, right? You don't have to move your cursor at all. Like, if we slow this
Yeah.
down,
Oh,
you
I
can
didn't see hook. I didn't see hook. Yeah.
Oh, got it.
Yeah.
Got
I
it.
know. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, got it. If you just didn't
No,
see
no
it,
questions. No
that's
questions.
fine. No problem. Sure. It's good. A little scary, but okay. Probably just do the slightly safer version of this and go, hey, let's rotate around the outside of the cart. You know, just a moderately safety thing, but that's fine. We do this. We throw our Harmony up there, which is great. We start charging our right click. I like that you delayed a moment there to let your peak thing charge a little further. I think we probably would have let that charge a touch more before going out here, but this is good.
The turret lies before us. It is quite real.
What are we waiting on? So here we are.
The turret lies before us. It is quite real.
Do you know what you're waiting for here? Or are you just trying to give the payload
I'm
credit?
waiting for Torp spam to unpick me.
Okay. And then you're going to use him for it. Okay.
And I'm almost done. Yeah.
Yep. You got it.
Almost died to that anyway. Yeah.
All good. Close the angle immediately. Fine. Okay. Does this feel right?
No.
Okay, so where could you be instead?
Tighter around the left side.
Tighter on the left side from this perspective or from the other perspective?
Yeah, from other. On the right.
So you could be like more over here, you're saying. I mean, there's still some scariness about this, and I actually don't hate it if you go, hey, this isn't very dangerous at the moment. I want to use this time to transition. I don't hate it if you go, I want to transition over to here. But yeah, I agree. Tighter on the right side, a little more aware of this would be better for you than this. Like, you're not meaningfully changing what you get shot access to from here. Here, yes, it's a wider peak. In this particular moment, it does end up open up Mercy as a person to shoot at. But if that's the case, let's complete our rotation over to a place where we once again have cover that we can use, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
The turret no longer exists.
Okay. Secret Agent Zen going on a mission. I like it. I'm good with this. Again, this feels just a little early for what you're doing with your peeking here. Like, you have 3 orbs, but it's not even that you have 3 orbs when people are visible. It's that as we go here, this is good, but I didn't know that there wasn't someone here, right? Like, you just opened a little bit further here, and you've only got 2 orbs charged up, and I didn't know that there wasn't going to be someone on this screen. Did you?
I kind of tracked their spawns. I thought they probably could get to the castle, but not to this part of the bridge, like on their side of the.
Okay, so
yeah.
you don't think they could be right over here?
Yeah, yeah, I don't think that
Okay.
will be.
Okay. If you feel confident in that, good. Fantastic. And then by the time you open this, you're at 3, but in just an instant, you're at 4. So I'm good with it. It's just the second time I've seen something like this where you sort of open the angle and then you open it the rest of the way when you have 3 or 4 orbs, which I can deal with. But generally, that first part of the open. But if you feel like your tracking is that good, I'm not going to call it out. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you asked for
Yeah.
that. And you know you asked for that because you're looking at this, and here, let's just go like this. I can pressure that Reinhardt from here. I can also pressure that Reinhardt. My mouse is fighting me a little bit. Give me just a second here. I can also pressure this Reinhardt from here, right? Like, I'm actually not interested in hitting the Reinhardt yet because he's going to shield. If he drops his shield, I might put it back. But I know that there's threats over here. Like, I know that this is where my opponents are. And I'm kind of being greedy and opening this angle further than I really need to open it. Like, here I can do this, but I can just as easily do this, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Bad cover usage.
Yeah, like you just kind of went full greed here. I'm going to do this. And then you close it a little, and then you're like, no, I want to open it again. It's like all you need is like the left third of Reinhardt's shield to shoot at. Like, yes, we'd like to hit Reinhardt if he drops his shield, but really what we're doing is we're putting pressure on Reinhardt's shield right now, which is the correct thing to do, but not bouncing back in like this. You're giving Hanzo opportunities to shoot at you. And he gets you with his very first arrow, which sucks, but you gave him that opportunity.
A temporary setback.
Healing enough. Payload stopped. Has it malfunctioned?
Walk in harmony.
By the dragon.
He goes elsewhere.
Sure. Okay. How long is left on this barrier?
Excuse me?
How long is left on this arrested barrier, time-wise?
Half a second maybe.
Okay.
Here's a little genius.
So you don't wander far. Good.
Ready for trance. My ultimate is ready. Proceed without.
Okay. You're gonna back, sure, fine.
Healing enough.
Oh boy. I appreciate the effort, but do you know how weak this Reinhardt is?
No, not really.
So we don't really want to go here for this. Like, this is really greedy if we don't know that this Reinhardt is weak, but also this is pretty greedy because we had to push forward as, like, the most lead person on our team to go do this, didn't we?
Yes.
This isn't like a Reinhardt who charged behind your team and is back here and you're like, oh, he got slept and let me help Anna out and we'll take him down back here. This is you pushing forward to go try to, combo a Reinhardt, which is like, hey, look at how close his friends are. Now that's a mercy, so like, oh, maybe you don't feel like you're in that much danger, but just even the concept of like, you're pushing into the enemy's territory, you don't have like an Orisa who's in front of you, a Roadhog who's in front of you. Now you have some DPS who are sort of thinking about angles, but they're not even pushed ahead of you on these angles. You see what I'm going for here?
Yes, absolutely. It was too greedy.
Go ahead.
I just thought I could 5 orb headshot. How much damage is it?
I'd have to do the math because they've changed the damage on his thing too many times, but a 5 orb headshot will not 100 to 0 him. I know that much. Like, so, and you're not going to be able to immediately go, hey, well, let's go like this. You're not going to be able to immediately Discord orb him because, again, if we look at how this is done.
I'm sorry.
What's that?
Yeah, I didn't orb.
Right. You didn't Discord orb him first. 5 orb hem shot would not take him down from full health, and I don't know if you know that he's at about 80% health when you start to do this. So like this is oops, and then he's potentially going to get up and swing at you, and if he connects with one swing and anyone over here, because this is contested space, but this is still more blue team space than it is red team space. Anyone over here puts a shot into you plus a swing, you're gone. And there's not much need for that when this isn't going to one-shot him. You'd still do pretty darn good damage to him from here, but you'd be way safer, right? And you were already
Yes.
backing up to here where you're sort of closing the angle on the enemy team. Okay. It's just a risk versus reward thing, doesn't quite make sense for you.
Double.
Okay. Again, there's that Hanzo back there. He's kind of scary. I don't mind you trying to take down this Mercy. But does that feel right?
Now I should be around the cart on the
Right. Play tighter on the cart. You can even think about going, oh, there's spam coming my way. Let me go ahead and peek from this side to get someone. Like, play a little tighter on the cart. You're swinging a bit wide on some of these angles.
Double.
You have my thanks.
And there I'm not sure where to play.
Yep.
Or we can test.
You've got a decision to make. You go, do I help push the cart? I don't really like doing that. Maybe I'm going to because I think we have time before the opponents show back up. But assuming you don't like that, you have to decide, okay, can I play more like over here? I am going to have trouble getting my Discord and Harmony orb where I want them. So maybe I poke up here to get orbs out and then fall back to here type thing. But you can use your orbs of destruction at this range. No problem. That's perfectly fine. Or you can try to do sort of what Hanzo's done and rotate yourself over here. You can try to use this, but it's not very good. You can stay on the card if you want, but really that would be greed to do so. So like, again, the open isn't really what we want. We're going to have to find this or this combination to work around. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm trying to poke with Hanzo. I
Of
decided
course.
to poke.
Yep. Sounds good. Okay, good. Little surprised that took quite as long as it did move Anna, but that's fine. You did get it there.
Double kill.
Yeah, your aim's certainly not holding you back. We can do more by leveling up some of your ability usage, but your aim is not going to be a problem here.
Honestly, I felt like my aim was pretty terrible.
That's fine. I can tell you that for 2,700 game that you're telling me this is fine. Like this isn't like, oh yes, this is High Master's aim, but the left clicks in particular you're pretty reasonable with. I don't like your right clicks as much. Your control of them in terms of leading, predicting where people are going to go to hit multiple shots with them, and we may get more into that, but
Experience tranquility.
okay. So let's think about this like this. Okay, you're scared. I get it. You just took damage. You're scared because you just took damage. But your team has a Dragon Strike going on. What does this do to the other team?
Split them. Make
It
them
might.
take that.
Yeah, it should make them take damage. It might split them. It's kind of a power play of sorts, right? Like maybe it's splitting them so only some of them can fight you right now. Maybe it's causing some or all of them to retreat right now because they're trying to run from the dragon. They have to deal with the dragon in some way though, right? Either they're split by it, they're running to cover because of it, they're taking damage because of it. Is the team likely to be pushing into you with 6 people while the dragon strike is going on?
No, absolutely not.
Right. So this is sort of like a power play opportunity for you. Now, the opponents have nano going, but this is sort of a power play opportunity for you. And a lot of the time when an ult is going, it's kind of a power play of sorts, where it's like, hey, we're sort of pretend up one person because there's an ult on the board that the enemy team is having to react to. Like, we have a Velt going, we have a Supercharge going, we have a Dragon going, we have transcendence going type thing where they don't really want to fight you hard while the transcendence is going, while the dragon is going. So that's cool and all. Is your team willing to push into this team right now? Maybe you specifically aren't, but is your team willing to?
I think they are. Hans is in pretty aggressive position. Hawk will be in aggressive position in like a second, maybe.
Right. And generally when your team uses an ult, Dragon Strike, Dragon Blade, Visor, Self-Destruct, it means press W and try to win, right?
Yeah, yes.
So your team is already going to do that.
Experience tranquility.
So do we need this Transcendence?
No, we don't.
Right. So we don't really need this. This Transcendence might be you're terrified that you're going to take any more chip damage, any more trash damage, and that would eliminate you. And I understand if that's what's going on here. But you're trying to lead your team into pushing, and I expect your team was already perfectly willing to push because this dragon was going on. They felt plenty comfortable with the dragon. Yeah, there's a nano hog, but the dragon, unsurprisingly, is splitting this team exactly like you'd expect. And you guys have yourselves a what do you have yourselves here? A 6v2 going on here. Now, you might have had to go, hey, I'm going to trans in reaction to this shatter. That might have totally been necessary. But that would be about a second and a half into your transcendence, right?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about my transcendence usage.
Yep.
And also, I don't respect Dragon Strike enough.
I don't know if it's you don't respect it enough, but any ult, not any ult, but most ults are going to cause your team to feel more comfortable pushing. Even if your team is high nooning, and you wouldn't consider high noon a pretty good ult, your team is going to feel pretty comfortable rotating forward while their own high noon is going off, right?
Yes, and I understand it about high noon, but I didn't understand it about Dragon before.
Okay, no problem. Also, this is minor.
Experience tranquility.
It's very hard for these guys to get eliminations during this, but what's one of the few ways they can get an elimination during your Transcendence?
Nano Hawk Hook.
Nano Hog Hook could be a threat, so you could just get up in Hog's face and say, no, I'm not going to let you. But another one is this right here, Pin. So who do you want him to pin?
Me?
You got it. That was an interesting right click. You're backwards here. Where do you think someone is going to show up? Where is this right click for? Is it for where the crosshair is?
For Torb on the right side of the hallway.
Left side?
Oh, left side, sorry. Yeah,
okay, so then this is wrong because this isn't where he would appear, right?
Yes.
So what we do, and this is a little hard for me to do without drawing, which I can't really do for you here, but we would set it up where our crosshair is here, because this is where he's most likely to appear, and we'd sort of drag it a little bit right as we let go, right? We'd set our crosshair here, and we'd do a slow drag to the right. Not like a whip like that, but just a slow drag to the right as we release, because what we expect to happen is Torb is either going to run across like this, or sort of run out like this and turn and fight us, or run out like this and maybe turn and go to spawn. And any one of those, he's not going to end up in this situation where he goes, let me peek and just stand here, right?
Yes. Maybe he will peek and fight.
He might peek and fight, but if he peeks and fights, there should be some unpeaking and such going on. So yes, there is a small possibility that he'll just open and stand still and just go here, but I'd say it's much more likely that he'll go like this and he'll sort of try to rotate. Sorry, mouse is being annoying. He'll try to rotate out like this type thing. And that would cause him to get hit by a drag motion rather than just a straight release motion. But even beyond the drag motion for a straight release motion, that's not where he appears, right?
Yes, he's not in the center of the hallway, yeah.
Right, and you sort of did a drag motion.
Yeah,
But you did
with
a drag
Bunny.
motion like he was coming out of spawn type thing. And if he's coming out of spawn, I didn't actually expect him to go this way even. Like, you have to make a decision of was he going to go this way or this way out of spawn. And your drag motion is set up for someone coming out of spawn and going towards your left, which is doesn't really make sense for what you're doing here. Do you have different thoughts?
No, I agree.
Okay. You trying to pin him down? Fine.
Team up for special attack. Nanobot administered.
Kind of reloading in the open here.
Nanobot.
Is there a reason that we're like... Like, you see how during this whole reload animation, and part of it you interrupted with the Discord, I get that, but we were stayed, like, in Hanzo's line of sight and what ended up being Torb's line of sight for that. Like, why wouldn't we just tuck back here? We know we don't really want to do anything while we're reloading here. But, no big. Okay. Okay, so your poor Anna. That's your Anna. I care about your Orisa too, don't get me wrong, but like, we see this. We see this again. You were just like locked on finishing off these enemies right now. Whereas you're going to win this. You are going to slowly work out a win here if you, play this in a fundamentally correct way. And in this situation that even though it might look like your Orisa is being more aggressive than your Anna is where your Harmony Orb goes, right?
Yes, I just
Tunnel. You
thought
tunnel
that
visions. All good.
Anna probably won't take damage because they're attacking on the right side and the Orisa is on the left side. And
Sure,
yeah.
but your Orisa is an Orisa that can do things like go, hey, I can pop Fortify, I can pop this, I have the cart that I can use as cover, and your Orisa has 500 or 450 health, right? So, like, I get what you're saying, but I think you know that the relative risk that both of these are in, like, yes, your Orisa's positioning is more aggressive, but even with that more aggressive positioning, the relative risk, which is really what you're balancing when you're picking who to Harmony Orb, is much higher on your Anna, isn't it?
Yeah, and how much? Yeah, and she died in. I mean, she would die anyways, but yeah, I agree.
Well, you say
Fundamentally, I
she'd
agree.
die anyways, but, like, let's take a look at this. How long has Anna been operating? Okay, so here we are. Anna just took damage, and she's at 602, and everyone else is full health except your Hanzo, and your Harmony Orb isn't down.
Team up for Nanobot.
It's a lot of time of your Harmony Orb not being out. We had the reload happen. You just don't really care about this Harmony Orb very much.
Sorry about it, yeah.
And now the Harmony Orb goes out on Orisa, and Orisa might be in more danger than Anna right now. So I don't particularly have an issue with this Harmony Orb being out here. Now, it should have been on Anna ages ago. It should have been on Anna for, not 10 seconds, but some portion of these 10 seconds to have healed her up and then moved it to, say, Orisa. And then we look at this, and we know Orisa doesn't have Fortify. But again, Anna lost health for the first time at 602. And sure, she gets eliminated by walking into lava, but she gets eliminated by walking into lava 18 seconds after she first lost health, right?
Yes,
Okay.
and my harmony wasn't on anybody meaningful.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. And I don't mind this because you're sort of doing this, hey, I know that we have an Orisa shield, so I'm going to take this wide peak, this in the middle of it peak. It gives me the most options. You start to get a little worried, and you see that it's taken no damage, but you start to get a little worried when her barrier comes off of cooldown, because if she redeploys her barrier, this barrier just disappears, right?
Yes.
So you do want to start thinking about, as time goes on here, wait, she could deploy a new barrier to protect herself or to protect someone else, and I don't want to be vulnerable. So now it's time to start picking a side and get, like, over here. Fortunately, her redeploy works just fine for you, but that was not guaranteed.
Does it make sense to charge
Initiating
right click when
match.
you're fighting Diva and you demech her?
Does it make sense? Oh, you mean when she's being demech, does it make sense to start to...
Yeah, in her animation, yeah.
Yeah, that can make sense because you can get a multi-orb on her as she actually ejects, and you're investing time. Like, it's the sort of thing where you don't generally like the magic hands lockout animation, but you're investing time because there was no one there wasn't another thing that you could be reasonably shooting at, and or you want the reliable burst damage to reliably get rid of half or more of her health as she's popping out of that mech there. So yes, that one does.
And I also just remembered, I think I'm going to play a little bit of Brig. I'm going to
Okay.
gonna get fed up with Genji or Tracer, and don't remember.
You mean you're gonna hit a lot of headshots on Genji and Tracer as Zen, and they're going to swap to Widow? Is that what you mean? No, I'm kidding.
No. They are
I know.
going.
Sorry, I'm just joking around.
Oh yeah.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Attackers incoming. Defend objective A.
Fine. Okay. So I'm gonna do this. Your orb fell off. Your Harmony orb fell off at 8:15. You got your Discord back out pretty quickly. Okay. Congrats. Your Harmony orb is back out at 8:25 there. So we're seeing a bit of a habit here where you just forget about your Harmony orb that has fallen off for like 10 seconds at a time here. So we do want to be more aware of this, and that's what the sound effect cue is for, and you're just going to want to train your ear or your brain to be a little bit more aware of like, oh, my Harmony orb was returned. Let me get it out there on somebody, anybody. Maybe I'll put it somewhere better in the future, but I want to get it out there somewhere basically immediately. Even if I'm shooting at an opponent and I don't want to stop shooting at the opponent, I bet someone is going to cross near my crosshair that I can get it on even temporarily for some value, right?
Yes, and
Okay.
I just got why I'm forgetting about Harmony and not forgetting about Discord. I just played a lot of Zen in deathmatch.
Sure.
And I just kind of, you don't use Harmony on deathmatch, yeah.
It's unfortunate, but it's true, yeah. They gave Anna self-nano. They didn't give Zen self-harmony.
Oh, it would have been great.
To the eyes.
No, I'm scared and lost because they.
Yeah, you don't know where to go. So you know that they've taken left control, and you know that they're ahead of you. And your positioning sucks, but where do you upgrade? Do you rotate left or do you rotate right to upgrade your positioning?
I think I should rotate left and behind.
You could rotate left and behind. We don't know exactly where they are is the thing. Like, I have map hacks because this is a replay, but like, you don't know. You now have some Q because if you turn it all, you're going to see your Junkrat, and you have your Harmony Orb on your Junkrat, and that should tell you that yes, your Junkrat is screening for you. You do have some ability to rotate this way. It's very unlikely that the enemies are right here if your Junkrat is right here, right?
Yes.
So yeah, this probably is the safer way to go, whereas you don't know what's over here. Now you can turn and peek and look, but you don't know what's over here, so this probably is the safer way to go based on the clues that you have right now. And then you just rotate yourself back to here, or you'd rotate yourself back to Hunter's Lodge, and you have a little bit more ability to play, to pick what you're going to do. So I hope we do that. No. All W. All W. Okay. That was probably too fast. Just a misclick there. Cancel into that. We got it on the Ash. Did you move that because you saw that Anna just hit her with a healing dart? Was that lightning reflexes, or was that Why are you moving Harmony so fast here?
I thought I missed Norborn Ash, and
Got it. So
yeah.
this is you trying to re-Ash. Got it.
And then I thought that
Anna got
saw
it. Yep.
got healed. Yeah, the revenge. Yeah.
Okay. Not as
And,
bad as the last
yeah.
one, but hey.
Yeah, I should wait for another orb. Yeah, he would have been dead.
I don't think I want to be here. Okay.
Yeah, me neither.
Good, good. This is the early peaks that I'm talking about, and this is not the first time we've seen this. You know that they're paying attention to this angle because you have a lot of teammates right there, right? So the enemies are already paying attention to this angle, and you're now peeking onto this angle when you have 2 orbs charged. No question, you only have 2 orbs charged right now. Is this 4 orbs? No.
No,
this is
it's
only
too early. It's
2
way
orbs.
too early.
Right. So we didn't really want to do this. We could have peeked with 0 orbs charged to maybe get a Discord orb off, but we can't peek with 2 orbs charged. Same thing. Okay. I'm a little worried about this. Good. Good. Okay. You had a fraction of a moment there to get the Harmony Orb on Hog, which you're reloading and choosing not to cancel. You get the Discord Orb off, which you decide is worth interrupting for, sure. But you've got an ulting Hog. Why doesn't he have a Harmony Orb? Oh, oh, oh.
Assistance
Okay,
would be
go ahead.
appreciated.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's gonna be terrible.
All
I'm
good.
going to do this, get the mini, and yeah.
Okay. Okay. This is just gonna suck, but such is play. Do as much damage as you can. Yeah. Not a big deal.
I probably could have gotten trans and we would have won this team fight, but yeah.
Sure, I mean, you potentially could have gone trans, but you getting trans is like, you can't get trans if you're at like, if you're at like 88 to 92% right now, yes, the hero play is getting trans and popping trans and saving everyone. That's the hero play. You're at 80%. Like, they have to mess up for you to be able to get trans in time for your team to
No.
not just...
I messed up before in
Yes.
The past 2 minutes.
Yes.
Yeah, and didn't get.
Yes.
Yeah,
I mean, you
about that.
probably could have gotten a good 6 to 8% just off of having, you know, that Harmony Orb on that
Harmony,
Hog there.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
My ultimate
Objective Stop the payload. You're covered.
Interesting. What do we want? Better.
Payload. Right down
Okay.
the
So, like, 100%. I'm worried about your Junkrat, don't get me wrong, and your Junkrat spamming that he needs healing. But I'm looking at this situation, and as soon as you've released these orbs, this is the magic hand animation that we talk about, where it's like, hey, you can't really do anything. But it's not true that you can't do anything. And your Junkrat isn't healed to full yet, but I'm worried about your Orisa, and I'm actually less worried
No,
about your Junkrat. Go ahead.
Junkrat is probably safe. He can grab Mega.
Right.
Yeah. I should have popped Transcendence here.
I'm not sure I agree with that. If you pop Transcendence here, you and Orisa, maybe Ash is gonna drop in and fight in your Transcendence. Like, you can pop this Transcendence. That's actually not gonna bother me. Yeah, if you pop this Transcendence, I look at this and this fight is in a place where, yeah, you can probably save her with it. And she can probably use it too. Do you expect that you're gonna get eliminations if you use the Transcendence here, though?
No, probably just stall the team fight for longer.
Right. And I don't know if I want to use Transcendence just to keep my 3v3 a 3v3. Like, it's not a terrible use of Transcendence, but I'd really like to at least have my Discord orb out meaningfully before I use a Transcendence just to stall a 3v3. Like, I look at this, and I immediately want to cancel these magic hands into a Harmony Orb. I don't know if I want a Transcendence here, because if I trans, yes, I'm going to save my Orisa, but these guys are just going to back off. They're going to continue to get cart distance. Maybe my Orisa is going to push forward with the Transcendence, but I kind of feel like that's a pretty big ult for just kind of slowed it down until the next person got here, and I don't even really have a great grasp of whether the next person is going to be their Moira, going to be my Junkrat, You sort of see what I'm saying here?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Right down the middle.
Now, maybe now, if you could Transcendence and still save Orisa, it would be worth it because there's a Discord orb out and the Rhine Shield's maybe weak enough, but like, yeah. But this wasn't an option because you are going to lose the Orisa too quickly.
Group up here.
Flank Yada, not flank Yada.
Get in there, Bob.
Okay, no Harmony Orb out. Junkrat looks mighty tempting for a Harmony Orb right now. Instead, we're going into a right click. Okay, that's surprising. Like, you take damage here, and we're going to respect that immediately. Maybe you don't know that you took damage here, maybe you don't know where the Genji is, but, like, I'm going to look up and respect that Genji, aren't you?
I probably will.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Oh,
yeah,
you
now
almost...
I will.
Yeah, okay, okay. I mean, that could have been bad. He almost hit you with a second shuriken there, but okay. That's fine. You can Discord him and shoot forward.
You have my thanks.
Kind of keeping that angle open. You're gonna do it, aren't you? Oh no, you're not gonna charge, okay.
Tranquility.
Discord's out, Harmony's out. Discord's out, Harmony's not out. I don't care if you Harmony or Barissa, and then move it to Hog, or whatever, but then we do this, and we send this out. It's free. It's completely free to put out our Harmony Orb right now. It's also completely free to put out our Discord Orb right now. I have no idea who you're going to Discord Orb if you do it, but you can Discord Orb right now. Now, these are my Zen settings, not your Zen settings, so I don't know exactly how tight your Discord Orb sensitivity is, and it's possible that you can't Discord Orb from here, but I suspect that you can. So
Yeah, they're on defaults. Yeah.
right.
I saw that.
So it really costs you basically nothing to send out this Discord orb, and that might seem like, but Tempora, like, I don't even know who's there. I don't really care, because it leads to situations like this one, where you then pop Transcendence, and this Transcendence kind of sucks. And I don't mean that in like, oh my god, it's absolutely awful, but neither of your orbs are out, right?
Yes.
Okay, so now we're using a Transcendence. We don't have a Discord Orb. We've taken our damage off the table with this Transcendence, and we don't even have a Discord Orb out. So I look at this and go, well, it's okay. Like, it's okay in the sense if their Reinhardt is close, their Reinhardt is pushing into us. Our Hog is probably at average aggression, not terribly aggressive right now.
I just got scared by
The
scary
Genji?
Japanese
The Blade?
voice. Yeah.
Okay, and I don't mind this being in response to the Blade. Like, I don't mind you going, I'm using Transcendence to answer Blade. I can live with that, but it sure would have been nice, because we don't know exactly when he's going to pop Blade, to have our orbs out as often as possible, so if we just instantly reaction cast Transcendence, our orbs can happen to get value.
I just should not have popped this early. I should have popped it maybe a second later, because Genji died. Genji died, actually.
He did, but I'm not
didn't even
super
notice
worried
that.
about that. Like, I've got to be honest, I'm not super worried about that. That's sort of a hindsight 2020 thing, where you're like, hey, you don't want to create a situation. You let him mostly pull his blade out before you did press the Q, and you don't know exactly where he is. Turns out he's up here, but for all you know, he was literally going to come over this right here immediately, right?
Yeah, yes.
So I wouldn't be too hard on yourself for that one. I'd be harder on you for not having orbs out. Okay, it's minor, but
He's
because
purple.
Harmony Orb is your least favorite topic, can we heal that Junkrat?
He's purple.
Right. And, you know, might be going, but Temporal, I'm going to have to move the Harmony Orb right back because I am going to want to heal him once the purple's over. Yeah, you are. But it's really not going to be hard to move it to Hog right now and then move it back to him in a second and a half, is it?
No, it probably wouldn't.
Yeah.
Assistance would be appreciated.
Priority is to Sim. Fine. You go over here. Cool. Look, it's our whole hogging hog friend. Look, our Harmony Orb isn't on anyone. Huh. Let's see how much health Hog had when he got pinned here. That's pretty close. That might have been the difference.
I think he would have survived that if he had Harmony.
Yeah.
He goes down swinging.
Because it was like more than 2 seconds.
Yep. You just want your cart to stall this? Yeah, good.
The cycle begins anew.
I will prove myself. Feeling better?
Team up for special attack.
I got fed up with Genji.
I get it.
Oh, yeah, and we are going to have funny hog moments.
Okay.
I'm looking for packs on them. I
Yep.
think.
You were looking for packs on these two. That's what I expect. This positioning isn't bothering me. We're less interested in that. Okay. Okay. Yep. Fine. Leave. Good. Okay, sure. Totally fine. You go for that. You try to angle. Is he actually going to give... Holy cow. Wow. I can't believe he gave that to you. Okay.
You should sit this one out. I'll take care of you.
Do you want to be here?
No, not really. I shouldn't be here as Brig.
Right. Like, it's not really... Like, we look at this, and Maybe we just wanted an excuse to watch the hog move again. But I'm looking at this and I'm going, hey, you have bash on cooldown, so you're not doing anything about this blade. You have whip shot on cooldown, so all you're going to do is you're going to apply repair packs. You actually want to separate so that if Genji has to like come to you if he wants to deal with you, because you can't meaningfully peel with your bash right now. So you don't want to be close in on this. And you also, like, you want to repair pack her, but you also don't really want to be here because it's just letting them shoot at you, right? Or it's like
Yes.
you don't have poke. Okay,
I can poke back. Yeah.
right.
I got nano, and it's nano craziness.
Okay, I'm here for it. Did you know you were gonna get nano when you went this far forward?
No.
Okay. So like I'm looking at this and I'm actually good with this, but I'm probably done now. Like Inspire's already going. I get now. I'm gonna be okay with this. This is full cleanup. Never mind.
And I'm still nano, so.
Well, you shouldn't get nanoed here because this is full cleanup. Like you guys have won this, but that's okay.
Thank you. My ultimate is almost ready.
Okay, so now you're fishing to try to get rally.
30 seconds.
Yeah, here hog again.
Yep. Oh boy. Okay. I'm really not sure I want to peek this hog as much as you do. Like, I haven't heard him waste hook yet. And like you're at 99 on rally. So if you get eliminated with rally, that's going to be really bad, right?
Yes.
Okay. Anyone else, sure. Maybe you whip shot them to get your rally. But him...
I tried to save Echo there.
Yeah, no, there I'm totally fine with. After the hook has come out for your
Yeah.
echo, you're whip shotting to interrupt. No problem.
Okay.
10 seconds remaining.
Don't whip shot. Don't do it. Good.
Taking damage. Rally to me.
I got lucky.
A little bit.
Overtime.
Okay. I get it. You're worried about Anna. How much does a single repair pack heal?
110.
Yes. So it's not like the end of the world to double repair pack a 200 HP hero, but this is the sort of thing where you sort of go, hey, putting 1 on cooldown, no problem. Putting 2 on cooldown, not the end of the world here. Don't really need it, though. You know that's overhealing. Like, you know that's overhealing.
Yeah, I just wanted to heal her to full.
Team up for special attack.
And it's clean up, sure.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm really not too worried about your brig. We saw like a mid and a half of it. There's things we could talk about, specifically the going fishing with hog back before he hooked your thing was a concern of sorts. Had no problem whatsoever with what you're doing up here in terms of your support. Didn't particularly love you going over here, both from a sight line control standpoint when you don't have poke, and from a Genji is in your team blading and you're stacking for him when you don't have bash. So I don't really like either of those. But other than that, Brig, fine. But I want you to talk about Zen, and I actually want you to tell me about your Zen, because you've now watched this, you've watched this with me. I, of course, saw plenty of things that I could go, hey, this is worth doing, this is worth improving on, and I could really narrow you in on these are the most important things to focus on, and I will do that, don't get me wrong. But this is going to be most valuable, like it's going to be even more valuable, if you can pick out, after having watched this, hey, I can see that these are things that I definitely need to work on. I'll steer you if you go wrong, but what did you see here, if anything, where you're like, hey, I see this is a reoccurring theme, or I think this is important? What did you see?
Terrible harmony usage.
Thank you.
A lot of downtime on harmony orbs.
Yep.
Bad right clicks, I guess.
Okay, I can come back to that because I'm going to want you a little more detail in each of those. Okay, are those the two? Do you feel like there's a third? How do you feel?
And probably cover usage.
Okay.
A lot of cover.
I like all of those. I like all of those. I know you were like, hey, Transcendence, and it's totally possible that your Transcendence needs more work, but based on the game that we have in front of us, I'd say yes, you've found the most important three things, and those would be, hey, probably in order, let's make sure our Harmony Orb uptime is better. Let's make sure that our when you say right click usage, can you elaborate on that? What do you mean by that?
Right click. I'm not sure about right click time, but right click aim is bad.
Sure. I'd actually put your positioning as more important than your right click aim. And when we say right click aim, we're specifically talking about, hey, we need to predict where they're going to be, or we need to sort of lead where they're going to go. We need to not just sort of willy nilly throw it down a spot, right?
Yes.
Okay. And with our cover, with your positioning, it's just you're making wide peaks when they don't make sense. Maybe like, hey, we have a strong Orisa shield, this is great, but we need to think about a new position. Or hey, we want to shoot at the Reinhardt that's advancing, but we're really peaking wider than we need to accomplish that, or wider than we need to accomplish that, or wider than we need to accomplish what we're doing. So we would like to play tighter on cover in general. That's going to be a little better for your survivability. Here, the only place you really got hard punished for it that comes to mind anyway was right here, but it's a place where if you're playing in plat games and you want to be playing in high diamond games and then master games, this would have been punished more against higher level opponents. So let's try and fix it now so it's just a speed bump later rather than a wall for you later. Does that make sense? And does what you need to do?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
I should have one opponent on my sideline.
Yep.
Generally.
Generally speaking, yes. If you can be like, hey, I can only have the one that I'm working on in it, that's fantastic. You don't want to let multiple people work on you, and you want to be close enough basically at all times, not at all times, because there's times when you're rotating between covers, but you should always either know that you're rotating towards a new set of cover, or you should know this is the cover that I'm immediately going to be able to unpeak, get behind if I start taking damage. That should be a thing for you, and you're wandering pretty far. The Harmony Orb stuff, though, I'd say is going to be the most important by far, and it's possible that's not usually an issue for you. Maybe it's just an issue because you were doing a bunch of deathmatch before this, but that in this game certainly looked like the most important thing for you to work on. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to be thinking, hey, you want to especially sort of train yourself to listen to hear that orb return sound, and that should almost, I don't want to say make you anxious, but sort of make you have a desire like, ooh, I need to get this back out. Like that's an audio cue, and it's a good audio cue that's a reminder of, oh, I can put this back out. And it's totally fine if it goes on a poor target because you're in the middle of doing something else, and then you move it to a better target later, but it's got to get out there, right?
Yes, I just thought that Harmony should be on most aggressive and squishy and nothing else.
Well,
And
no, because
yeah,
it's cheaper for you to heal up your partner support, assuming your partner support is like an Anna, for example, or let's say a Baptiste. It's cheaper for you to heal them up, or even a Moira, than it is for them to heal themselves up, right? Do we want Bap to use Regenerative Burst, or Anna to use Nade, or
no,
Moira to
no.
use Orb? Right. So I wouldn't completely stick by that priority list. The last thing I'd include in your priority list is we like Harmony Orbing Aggression, we like Harmony Orbing Squishies, and we like Harmony Orbing our partner support if they have a bit of trouble healing themselves. So, more so Anna's and Baps and less so, say, Lucio's. I mean, you could Harmony a Brig or a Lucio, but you sort of get the idea there.
Um, sometimes I'm harmoning Orb on a Mercy who's
Yep.
raising or in a
Oh, and you
position.
absolutely can. If she's rezzing or if a
For a
Winston's
second.
chasing her, absolutely. It's additional peel. Like you can use Harmony Orb as a peel tool.
Yes, makes
Okay.
sense.
Okay. So those are the three things. I sort of shuffled the order a little bit for you. And like I said, the most important thing based on this would be that Harmony Orb. We could get more into your Harmony Orb target selection, but like the most important thing about your Harmony Orb right now would be let's get it out there when it comes back. Like it's a boomerang, but it's a hot potato boomerang. Like, ooh, you came back? No. Let me quickly pass this on to the next person, etc. And then you can move it to the right person. So that's going to be the most important thing. Our next most important thing is we're going to play tighter on our cover. We're going to know where our cover is. We're not going to have three people on our screen. When we're attacking the furthest left person, we'll tuck to the right and just have the furthest left person on our screen. And then finally, we have, hey, our right clicks. Right clicks are a good thing. Right clicks are fine. Let's be conscious of what our right clicks do to our orb application status. If we don't want to be going into right clicks mid-fight when our Discord orb isn't out yet, we could in the poke phase, but mid-fight, we don't necessarily want to be doing that. Similar thing with the Harmony Orb. We'd like to get those orbs out before we go into a right click, and then our right click should be sort of leading there, where they should be lottery stuff at where someone's going to come out in a leading way because of how people round corners, not like, not just straight shots and not at the wrong side of I hope they'll appear here. Well, there's no reason for them to appear there. Okay. So with that in mind, do you have any questions, concerns, anything else you'd like to get into here?
Yes, I just thought about dive heroes in general
Sure.
and Doomfist, example of the most like divey hero probably. Dive heroes generally you counter them by poking them out, right?
Yeah. So dive heroes, I mean, dive in theory counters poke, but what you run into is dive heroes, the dive will never come if the heroes are never allowed to stage. Like dive heroes want to set up a sort of concave. They want to set up dive angles like, okay, let's get our Genji control over here. Let's get our Tracer control over here. Our Winston's over here. And they're going to come in on you from three different directions at once. That's what they want to do. The dive never happens if they're missing health, because does Winston want to leap in if he's missing 150 health beforehand?
No, he got no armor. He will probably die.
Right. And Genji's in a very similar boat, and Doomfist really is too. Doomfist might be up here and like, I want to go in, but if Doomfist is constantly kept down 50 health, constantly kept down 75 health, he's going to have a really poor time, and he's going to take that damage, and he's going to have to like wait to get healed, or he's going to have to go find a health pack and then come back, and in that time that he gets healed or goes finds a health pack and gets healed up by someone else, that's sort of extending the poke phase. That's giving you more time to poke at other people to cause them to be missing health, right?
Yes.
So when it comes to... Go ahead.
No, I just wanted to ask, aren't stuns, Brig, McCree Flash kind of cheating around that?
Kind of cheating around that. I don't know that they're cheating around that. What you're hitting on is Brawl is generally considered the counter to dive, and the reason for that is generally that Brawl's peel gets really strong, and dive sort of tries to bypass the poke phase. Brawl struggles in the poke phase, though. Whereas poke really likes the poke phase but loses in the brawl stage. So like dive heroes are better at brawl than poke heroes, loosely speaking, but worse at brawl than brawl heroes, right? So like
yes.
So
Yes.
like Brig, for example, she's a brawl hero. Like if you think about how she works, she's not actually amazing in brawl, but conceptually she's a brawl hero where she really is like, I can beat dive heroes when they come in. Like if you have to pick between at close range, Brig, Genji, and Widowmaker, well, Genji's better. Genji's going to be better than Widowmaker, but worse than Brig at close range, just as in theory. Whereas Brig is going to be better than both of them, and Widow's going to be worse than both of them, right?
Yes, it's a great example.
Right. So that's what
Yeah.
we're looking at there. And McCree, you might go, well, McCree's a poke hero. Well, McCree is a poke brawl hybrid hero, and he has a good poke ability. He has a good brawl ability in flashbang, and he has some extra health. So again, he's sort of like, hey, I've got pretty good brawl power, and that's why I beat dive heroes sometimes. He can sort of fight a diver. He can't really fight a dive, but yeah. Okay.
Yeah, makes sense.
Cool. Any other questions there?
No.
Then let me close this guy out.